The Lord of the Rings, Part 4, by J.R.R. Tolkien.
It was a cold, gray day near the end of December. The east wind was streaming through the bare branches of the trees and seething in the dark pines on the hills. Spare food and clothes and blankets and other needs were laden on a pony, none other than the poor beast they had brought from Bree. Bill, Sam had come to call him.
Bill, my lad, you oughtn't have took up with us. You could have stayed here and ate the best hay till the new grass comes. Now let me see. I wonder if I've forgotten anything. Cooking gear, and my little box of salt, a good supply of pipeweed, but not near enough, I'll warrant. Flint and tinder, rope. No rope. And only last night you said to yourself, Sam, what about a bit of rope? You'll want it if you haven't got it. Well, I'll have to want it. I can't get it now.
May the blessing of elves and men and all free folk go with you. May the stars shine upon your faces.
Good luck! I don't suppose you'll be able to keep a diary, Frodo, my lad, but I shall expect a full account when you get back, and don't be too long. Farewell!
Farewell, dear Bilbo.
Farewell.
After your pony there.
They had been a fortnight on the way when the weather changed. For 2 more nights they marched on, but the air was chill again. On the 3rd morning, the mountain Caradhras rose before them, a mighty peak tipped with snow like silver, but with sheer, naked sides, dull red as if stained with blood.
Winter deepens behind us, Aragorn. The weather may prove a more deadly enemy than any. What do you think of your course now?
I think no good of our course from beginning to end, as you well know, Gandalf.
Yeah.
But further south, there are no passes till one comes to the Gap of Rohan. And I don't trust that way, since your news of Saruman.
Well, there is another way. The dark and secret way that we have spoken of.
But let's not speak of it again. Not yet. Say nothing to the others, I beg. Not until it's plain. There's no other way.
That we must decide before we go further.
Well, let's consider.
The company set out again towards the great mountain, and with good speed at first. But soon their way became steep and difficult. By midnight they had climbed only to the knees of the mountains. Their narrow path now wound under a sheer wall of cliffs to the left, above which the flanks of Caradhras towered up invisible in the gloom. Before long, snow was falling, fast. Still they trudged.
This is what I feared.
I feared it too, but less than other things. But we aren't high yet. We are still far down.
I wonder if this is a contrivance of the enemy. He has strange powers and many allies.
His arm has grown long indeed, if he can draw snow down from the north to trouble us here 300 leagues away.
His arm has grown long.
My feet feel like lead.
When we start up, the wind increases. When we stop, the snow stops too.
That's true.
What can we do? Oh, I'm so cold.
Either stop where we are or go back. We shall have no shelter higher. This path leaves the cliff where we should have no shelter from snow, stones, or anything else.
And it's no good going back while the storm holds. We've passed no place on the way up that offered more shelter than this cliff wall we're under now.
Shelter? If this is shelter, then one wall and no roof makes a house.
Very well. Huddle together with your backs to the wall. Yes?
Bill's protecting us, but the snow's already mounting around him.
I feel so tired.
I don't think much of your diary, Frodo. Snowstorms on January the 12th. There was no need to come back to report that.
But I wanted to rest and sleep, Bilbo.
Come, Frodo, you're covered in snow. This will be the death of the halflings, Gandalf.
Give them a drink from this flask. Elrond gave it to me at our parting. Pass it round.
The snow stopped falling only as the dawn arose. Below their refuge were white lumps and domes and shapeless deeps beneath which the path they had trodden was altogether lost. And the heights above were hidden in great clouds, still heavy with the threat of snow. Galadriel has not forgiven us. The sooner we go back and down, the better.
If Gandalf would go before us with a bright flame, he might melt a path for you.
If elves could fly over mountains, they might fetch the sun to save us. I can't burn snow.
Well, when heads are at a loss, bodies must serve.
Then let us force a path thither, you and I.
I am weary, but I still have strength left. And Aragorn, too. We will bear the little folk. Come, Master Peregrine. I will begin with you.
Let's push against this.
I advise that we should go neither over the mountains nor round them, but under them. What? Yes. That is the road, at any rate, that the enemy will least expect us to take.
To enter the mines of Moria, that would be to walk into a trap hardly better than knocking at the gates of the Dark Tower itself.
Well, there's an even chance that the dwarves are still there, and that in some deep hall of his father's, Balin, son of Fundin, may be found. However that may prove, one must tread the path that need chooses.
I will tread the path with you, Gandalf. I will go and look on the halls of Durin, whatever may wait there, if you can find the doors that are shut.
Good, Gimli. You encourage me, and we'll seek the hidden doors together. And we'll come through.
Yes.
I, too, once passed the Dinral Gate. But though I also came out again, the memory is very evil. I do not wish to enter the mines of Moria a second time.
And I don't wish to enter it even once.
Nor me, Pippin.
Of course not. Who would? But the question is, who will follow me if I lead you there?
I will. It is the home of my ancestors.
You followed my lead almost to disaster in the snow, and have no word of blame. I will follow your lead now. Boromir?
I will not go unless the vote of the whole company is against me. But what says Legolas and the little people?
I do not wish to go through Moria.
Well, I beg that there should be no vote until we have slept on it. Oh, how the wind howls.
What? No. How the wind howls, indeed. It is howling with wolf voices.
Oh, no.
The wargs have come west of the mountains.
Need to wait until morning, then? The hunt is up.
How far is Moria?
Some 15 miles as the crow flies, and maybe 20 as the wolf runs.
The wolf that one hears is worse than the orc that one fears.
I wish I'd stayed behind, and I don't remember feeling so wretched.
My heart's right down on my toes, Mr. Pippin. But we aren't eaten yet. Whatever may be in store for old Gandalf, I'll wager it isn't a wolf's belly.
Let's start with the light and make a fire tonight.
Yes. The night was old, and westward a waning moon was setting when a great host of wargs gathered silently around the camp and attacked them from every side at once.
Look out for those wolves! Wake up! Flame fuel on the fire! Draw your blades and stand back to back! Listen! Hound of Sauron! Gandalf is here! Fly if you value your foul skin! I will shrivel you from tail to snout if you come within this ring!
In the wavering firelight, Gandalf seemed suddenly to grow. He rose up, a great menacing shape like a monument of some ancient king. Stooping like a cloud, he lifted a burning branch and strode to meet the wolves.
What did I tell you, Mr. Pippin? That was an eye-opener. Oh, nearly singed the hair off my head, he did.
The next day was drawing to an end when the company, with all the speed they could, climbed up the slope which lay before the cliffs where the door to the mines of Moria was believed to be. Sam, in tears, said farewell to Bill, his faithful pony, though not before Gandalf had whispered in the good beast's ears instructions on how to return safely to Rivendell. Then finally they faced the cliffs.
Well, here we are, and all ready. But where are the doors? I can't see any sign of them.
This door was not made to be a secret known only to dwarves, even though they aren't made to be seen when shut. Do you see anything now?
Elvish characters. The emblems of Durin.
And there is the tree of the High Elves. And the edges of the door.
Marks which mirror only starlight and sleep until they're touched by one who speaks words now long forgotten in the Middle-earth. Now let's see. Ingelachnir und Deistingel Open! Edro, open! Wait. Let me see. I have it. Absurdly simple, like most riddles when you see the answer. Yes. Melon! Oh! I was wrong after all. The letters say friend and enter, which mean just that. Too simple for a learned law master in these suspicious days, so I had only to speak the Elvish word for friend.
My foot! Something from the lake has got hold of my foot! Oh, help! Oh, help!
Oh, it's a tentacle! Hold on! Mr. Frodo, here's my knife! There! Get him! Kill him! Come on!
Up the stairs! Quickly! Inside! Quick! Well, the passage is blocked behind us now, and there's only one way out. On the other side of the mountains. Gimli shall walk with me. Follow the radiance from my staff.
The mines of Moria were vast and intricate beyond the imagination of even Gimli Glóin's son. Gandalf knew whither he wished to go and did not falter. There were not only many roads to choose from, but there were fissures and chasms in the walls and floor, and every now and then a crack would open right before their feet. They walked for hours.
Rope. I knew I'd want it if I hadn't got it.
What's that?
That was the sound of a hammer.
Yes, and I don't like it. Down here. I chose the right way. We must be at the habitable parts of the hall.
It's huge. Why did the dwarves live here, in these holes?
These are not holes. This is the great city of Dwaro-Delph, where alone in the world was found Mithril, Moria silver worth 10 times that of gold.
Yes, Bilbo had a corselet of Mithril worth more than the value of the whole Shire and everything in it. We're tired, but we shall rest better when we're outside. Yes, there's a light in the north door in front of us. Come on.
The light comes from that doorway on the right. Things on the floor and the dust.
It's bright in here. You can see the sky.
Yes.
And over there it looks like a tomb. See, Gandalf, this slab and runes.
What? Let me see. Here is written on this slab in the tongue of men and dwarves, Balin, son of Fundin, Lord of Moria.
He is dead. Oh, I feared it was so.
Oh, Balin, there. The company of the Ring stood silent beside the tomb of Balin. Then they began to search for anything that would give them tidings of Balin's fate. Beside the doors to the chamber, many bones were lying, and among them broken swords and axe heads, cloven shields and helms. Some of the swords were crooked orc scimitars with blackened blades. There were iron-bound chests of wood, all broken and plundered. Beside the shattered remains of one lay the remains of a book. It had been slashed and stabbed and partly burned, and it was so stained with black and other dark marks like old blood that little of it could be read. Gandalf lifted it carefully.
Now, put it here. Listen to this. We drove out orcs from the Great Gate, and Balin has set up his seat in the Chamber of Records.
I guess that is where we now stand.
I can read no more for a long way, except the word something Mithril, something go westwards to Hollin Gate. It's grim reading. We cannot get out. Yes, then the end comes. Drums in the deep. I wonder what that means. They are coming. Nothing more. You'd better keep it, Gimli. Come on now, back to the hall. I now know where we are. And one of the...
What's that? What's that?
They're coming!
We cannot get out. Trapped. Slam the doors and wedge them. No. We must not get shut in. Keep the east door ajar. Wait, Boromir. Don't close the door yet. Who comes hither to disturb the rest of Balin, Lord of Moria? Take that! There are orcs, many of them. Some large, and even with their sons there too. A great cave troll, I think, or more than one. Close the door, Boromir.
All right, I'll wedge it with broken sword blades.
Oh, now is the time! Let's go before the troll arrives! Now, run for it! I'll hold the door! You must go down the stairs!
We cannot leave you to hold that door alone.
Do as I say! Swords are no more use here! Go! Don't stand there! I've met my match and have nearly been destroyed! Where are you, Gimli? Come ahead with me! Keep close behind, all of you!
All right.
Now, it's getting much. There's an arch ahead. Come on, let me go ahead. Come on through. Hey, this is the second hall of Old Moria, and the gates are near, over there. See it across the bridge, over the chasm on the other side, up the stair, through the first hall, and out. Come on. There's no time to lose. Now for the last race. If the sun is shining outside, we may still escape. Quick, down and across. Look ahead, though the fire has cut them off. The bridge ahead across the chasm is dangerous and narrow. Gimli, lead the way. Pippin and Merry next. Straight on. Then up the stair, beyond the door, and out.
They're shooting arrows now. One just bounced off me. Look!
Balrog is coming! Oh, now I understand. What an evil fortune. And I'm already weary. Boromir, your horn!
The ranks of the orcs had opened, and they crowded away as if they themselves were afraid. Something was coming up behind them. What it was could not be seen. It was like a great shadow, in the middle of which was a dark form of man's shape, maybe yet greater. And a power and terror seemed to be in it and to go before it. It came to the edge of the fire. Then, with a rush, it leaped across the fissure. The flames roared up to greet it. Its streaming mane kindled and blazed behind it. In its right hand was a blade like a stabbing tongue of fire. In its left, it held a whip of many thongs.
Over the bridge! Fly! This is a foe beyond any of you. I must hold the narrow way. Fly!
Aragorn and Boromir did not heed the command, but still held their ground side by side behind Gandalf at the far end of the bridge. The others halted just within the doorway at the hall's end and turned, unable to leave their leader to face the enemy alone. The Balrog reached the bridge. Gandalf stood in the middle of the span, leaning on the staff in his left hand, but in his other hand, Glamdring, his sword, gleamed cold and white. His enemy halted again, facing him, and the shadow about it reached out like two vast wings. It raised the whip, and the thongs whined and cracked. Fire came from its nostrils.
You cannot pass! I am a servant of the secret fire, wielder of the flame of Aenor. You cannot pass! The dark fire will not avail you, flame of Udun. Go back to the shadow! You cannot pass!
The fire in the Balrog seemed to die, but the darkness grew. It stepped forward slowly onto the bridge, and suddenly it drew itself up to a great height, and its wings were spread from wall to wall. But still Gandalf could be seen, glimmering in the gloom. He seemed small and altogether alone, gray and bent like a wizened tree before the onset of a storm. From out of the shadow a red sword leaped, flaming. Glamdring glittered white in answer. The Balrog fell back, its sword flying up in molten fragments. The wizard swayed on the bridge, stepped back a pace, and then again stood still.
You cannot pass!
With a bound, the Balrog leaped full upon the bridge.
He cannot stand alone! Elendil, I am with you, Gandalf!
So is Boromir! So is Boromir! Gondor! Gondor!
At that moment, Gandalf lifted his staff and smote the bridge before him. The staff broke asunder and fell from his hand. A blinding sheet of white flame sprang up. The bridge cracked. Right at the Balrog's feet it broke, and the stone upon which it stood crashed into the gulf while the rest remained poised, quivering like a ton of rock thrust out into emptiness. Even as the Balrog fell forward and its shadow plunged down and vanished, it swung its whip, and the thongs curled about the wizard's knees. Gandalf fell and grasped vainly at the stone.
It's dragging him after it into the chasm.
Fly, you fools!
Gandalf! No! No!
Oh, no! No! Gandalf gone!
I will lead you now. We must obey his last command. Follow me! Faster!
Forward!
Faster!
Forward!
Through the gates!
They looked back. Dark yawned the archway of the gates under the mountain shadow. A thin, black smoke trailed out. Nothing else was to be seen. The dale all around was empty. Grief at last wholly overcame them, and they wept long. Some standing and silent, some cast upon the ground as the drum beats faded. Away in the east, the evening light lay pale upon the dim lands of distant plain and wood. After their wounds and bruises had been tended, and Frodo's corselet of mithril much admired, they felt eased and greatly refreshed. And with only one brief halt, Aragorn led the company on for nearly 3 more hours.
Now we must enter the Golden Wood.
To Lothlorien. Alas, that it's winter.
Is there no other way?
There is no other way for us, unless you would go back to Moria Gate, or scale the pathless mountains, or swim the great river all alone.
Then lead on. But it's perilous.
Perilous indeed. Fair and perilous, but only evil need fear it, or those who bring some evil with them. Follow me.
The company then turned aside from the path and went into the shadow of the deeper woods, where they found a cluster of trees whose great gray trunks were of mighty girth.
I'll climb up. I'm at home among trees. I'll see what's their shape.
And we'll seek refuge in the tops if we can.
They'll be marvelous trees indeed if they can offer any rest at night except to birds. I can't sleep on a perch.
Jaro! Stand still. Don't move or speak. What?
Who are they? They're elves. Can't you hear their voices?
Yes, Sam. They're elves, and they say you breathe so loud that they could shoot you in the dark. They've been aware of us for a long while and heard my voice and therefore didn't hinder us. Now they bid me climb up with Frodo, for they seem to have some tidings of him and of our journey. The others they ask to wait a little and to keep watch at the foot of the tree until they've decided what is to be done.
Out of the shadows a ladder was let down. It was made of rope silver gray and glimmering in the dark, and though it looked slender, it proved strong enough to bear many men. Legolas ran lightly up, and Frodo followed slowly. Behind came Sam, trying not to breathe loudly.
I am Hal, dear cousin. We are 3. How many are you?
8. Myself, 4 hobbits, and 2 men, one of whom, Aragorn, is an elf friend.
Aragorn, son of Arathorn, is known in Lorien, and he has the favor of the Lady Galadriel. All then is well. But you've spoken only of 7.
The 8th is a dwarf.
A dwarf? That isn't well. We've not had dealings with a dwarf since the dark days. They're not permitted in our land. I cannot allow him to pass.
But he's from Lonely Mountain, one of Dane's trusty people and friendly to Elrond.
Very good. We'll do this, though it's against our liking. If Aragorn and Legolas will guard him and answer for him, he shall pass. But he must go blindfold through Lothlorien. The 4 hobbits must climb up, and the others too must take refuge. Call us if anything is amiss. And have an eye on that dwarf.
Day came pale from the east, and pale blue sky peeped among the moving branches. The morning was still young and cold when the company set forth again, guided now by Haldir.
Now, friends, we allow no strangers to spy out the secrets of this part. Few indeed are permitted even to set foot there. And as was agreed, I shall blindfold the eyes of Gimli the dwarf.
The agreement was made without my consent. I will not walk blindfold like a beggar or a prisoner, and I am not a spy. I am no more likely to betray you than Legolas or any other of my companions.
I don't doubt you, yet this is our law, and I cannot set it aside. I've done much in letting you set foot over the river Celebrant.
I will go forward free, or by this axe I will go back and seek my own land where I am known to be true of word, though I perish alone in the wilderness.
You can't go back. Now you have come this far, you must be brought before the Lord and the Lady. They shall judge you. And behind you there are now secret sentinels you cannot pass. You'd be slain before you saw them.
Then by this axe...
And by our bows!
A plague on dwarves and their stiff necks.
Come! If I am still to lead this company, you must do as I bid. It's hard upon the dwarf to be thus singled out. We'll all be blindfold, even Legolas. That'll be best, though it'll make the journey slow and dull. What's so funny?
A merry troop of fools we shall look. Will the elves here lead us all on a string? But I will be content if only Legolas shares my blindness.
But I am an elf and a kinsman here.
Now let's cry a plague on the stiff necks of elves. But the company shall all fare alike. Come, bind our eyes.
There was a road paved with white stone running on the outer brink of the fosse. Along this the company went westward, with the elven city ever climbing up like a green cloud upon their left. The encircling walls were tall, and the gates to them strong, and hung with many lamps. Haldir knocked, and the gates opened soundlessly, and passing quickly through, they entered the City of the Trees.
Here dwell Celeborn and Galadriel. It's their wish you should ascend and speak with them. Let Frodo come next, and with him Legolas. The others may follow as they wish. It's a long climb, but you may rest upon the way.
On 2 chairs beneath the bole of the tree and canopied by a living bough sat, side by side, Celeborn and Galadriel. Very tall they were, and grave and beautiful. They were clad wholly in white. The hair of the lady was of deep gold, and the hair of Lord Celeborn was of silver, long and bright. But no sign of age was upon them, unless it were in the depths of their eyes. For these were keen as lances in the starlight, and yet profound, the wells of deep memory. When all the guests were seated before his chair, the Lord Celeborn looked at them and welcomed Frodo in his own tongue.
Sit now beside my chair, Frodo of the Shire. Welcome Aragorn, son of Arathorn. Welcome Legolas from the north, and Gimli, son of Glóin. But 9 were to set out, so said the messages. Maybe there has been some change of counsel?
Nay, there was no change of counsel. Gandalf the Grey set out with the company, but did not pass the borders of this land. Now tell us where he is. I cannot see him from afar unless he comes within the fences of Lothlorien. A grey mist is about him, and the ways of his feet and of his mind are hidden from me.
Alas, Gandalf the Grey fell into shadow. He remained in Moria and did not escape.
Oh, Gandalf.
We reached the chamber of Mazarbul, then the fire and the bridge of Khazad-dûm. Then a terror came, an evil of the ancient world, it seemed, such as I had never seen before.
It was a Balrog of Morgoth, of all elf-banes the most deadly, save the one who sits in the dark tower.
Alas, we have long feared that under that mountain a terror slept.
Your quest is known to us. It was I who first summoned the White Council, and it would have been governed by Gandalf the Grey if my designs had not gone amiss. And this I say to you, your quest stands upon the edge of a knife. Stray but a little, and it will fail to the ruin of all. Yet hope remains while all the company is true.
You are worn, with sorrow and with much toil. Go now. Even if your quest did not concern us closely, you should have refuge in this city until you are healed and refreshed. Now you shall rest, and we will not speak of your further road for a while.
They remained some days in Lothlorien. All the while they dwelt there, the sun shone clear, save for a gentle rain that fell at times and passed away, leaving all things fresh and clean. As the companions sat or walked together, they often spoke of Gandalf, and all that each had known and seen of him came clear before their minds. One evening Frodo and Sam were walking together in the cool twilight when they saw the Lady Galadriel approaching. She spoke no word, but beckoned to them. They followed her down a long flight of steps into a deep green hollow through which ran murmuring the silver stream that issued from the fountain on the hill. With water from the stream, Galadriel filled a basin of silver, wide and shallow, which stood upon a low pedestal, carved like a branching tree. The air was very still, and the elf lady, tall and pale, stood beside Frodo.
Here is the mirror of Galadriel. I have brought you here so that you may look in it, if you will.
What shall we look for? And what shall we see?
Many things I can command the mirror to reveal, and to some I can show what they desire to see. But the mirror will also show things unbidden, and those are often stranger and more profitable than things which we wish to behold. It shows things that were, and things that are, and things that yet may be. But which it is that he sees, even the wisest cannot always tell. Do you wish to look? And you, Sam. For this is what your folk would call magic, I believe. This, if you will, is the magic of Galadriel. Didn't you once say you wished to see elf magic?
I did, yes. All right. I'll have a peep, lady, if you're willing. And I'd not mind a glimpse of what's going on at home. But there, like as not, I'll only see stars.
Then Sam looked into the mirror of Galadriel. He did indeed see stars, but they turned to black smoke that poured from great buildings with tall chimneys. And they had dug up Bagshot Row. Then Frodo looked. Many swift scenes passed before his eyes, scenes that he knew were parts of a great history in which he had become involved. But suddenly the mirror went altogether dark, and Frodo looked into emptiness. In the black abyss there appeared a single eye that slowly grew until it filled nearly all the mirror. The eye was rimmed with fire, but was itself glazed, yellow as a cat's, watchful and intent, and the black slit of its pupil opened on a pit, a window into nothingness.
It's moving! It's searching! It's looking for me! No! No! The ring's growing heavy round my neck. Ah!
Don't touch the water.
Oh, it's gone. Oh, I see the stars.
I know what it was you last saw. Don't be afraid. Do not think that this land of Lothlorien is defended by singing and elven bows. See, it cannot be hidden from the ring-bearer and one who has seen the eye of the enemy. Verily, it is in the land of Lorien and upon the finger of Galadriel that one of the 3 rings remains. This is the ring of adamant, and I am its keeper.
You are wise and fearless and fair, Lady Galadriel. I will give you the one ring if you ask for it. It's too great a matter for me.
I don't deny my heart has greatly desired what you offer.
If you'll pardon my speaking out, lady, I think my master was right. I wish you'd take the ring. You'd put things to rights. You'd make some folks pay for their dirty work.
I would. That's how it would begin. But it wouldn't stop at that, alas. Come, let's go.
That night, the company was again summoned to the chamber of Celeborn.
Now is the time when those who wish to continue the quest must harden their hearts to leave this land.
They have all resolved to go forward.
I will furnish your company with boats and lembas, waybread which is more strengthening than any food made by men, hoods and cloaks to each his size.
I and my maidens wove the stuff of them, and never before have we clad strangers in the garb of our own people.
We shall also add ropes to your store. Never travel far without a rope, and one that is long and light. They may be a help in many needs.
I came without any, and I've been worried ever since.
At last, the fellowship departed in 3 boats. Aragorn with Frodo and Sam led the way up the silver-lowed stream. As they turned a sharp bend in the river, they saw a ship of great size, shaped like a swan. And in the midst of the vessel sat Celeborn, and behind him stood Galadriel, tall and white, with a circlet of golden flowers in her hair. They pulled their boats onto a grassy bank and feasted. And Galadriel brought the cup to each of the company and bade them drink and said her last farewell. Then Celeborn gave them directions and warned them to avoid the strange forest of Fangorn. Then it was time to go.
We have drunk the cup of parting, and the shadows fall between us. But before you go, I have brought in my ship gifts, which the Lord and Lady of the Galadrim now offer you in memory of Lothlorien. To the leader of your company, a sheath made to fit his sword, worked with a tracery of silver and gold. The blade that is drawn from this sheath shall not be stained or broken, even in defeat. Also this token of hope, this great stone of clear green set in a silver brooch, Elessar, the elf stone of the house of Elendil.
O Lady of Lorien, of whom were sprung Celebrian and Arwen Evenstar, what praise could I say more?
To Boromir this belt of gold, to Merry and to Pippin these belts of elven silver with clasps of golden flowers. To our kinsman Legolas, a bow of the Galadrim strung with elf hair. And for you, little gardener and lover of trees, I have only a small gift. This box with its single rune of G for Galadriel. In this box there is earth from my orchard, and such blessing as Galadriel has still to bestow is upon it. Should you see home again at last, though you should find all barren and laid waste, there will be few gardens in Middle-earth that will bloom like your garden. And what gift would a dwarf ask the elves?
None, lady. It is enough for me to have seen the Lady Galadriel and to have heard her gentle words. Unless it be to ask for a single strand of your hair which surpasses the gold of the earth as the stars surpass the gems of the mine.
There, 3 of my tresses, 3 golden hairs.
Your lady.
Your hand shall flow with gold, and yet over you gold shall have no dominion. And you, ring-bearer.
Yes, my lady.
For you I have prepared this small crystal phial. In this phial is caught the light of the stars set amid the waters of my fountain. It will shine still brighter when night is about you. May it be a light to you in dark places when all other lights go out. Remember Galadriel and her mirror.
Thank you, my lady.
They let the river bear them on at its own pace, having no desire to hasten towards the perils that lay beyond. They saw no sign of an enemy that day nor the next. That night they camped on a small eyot close to the western bank. Sam lay rolled in blankets beside Frodo.
I had a funny dream before we stopped, Mr. Frodo. Or maybe it wasn't a dream.
Well, what was it?
Oh, wrong it was, if it wasn't a dream. I saw a log with eyes. 2 pale sort of points, shiny like, and a hump near the end of the log. What's more, it wasn't a log, for it had paddle feet, like a swan's. Only they seemed bigger and kept dipping in and out of the water.
I should make nothing of it if this was the first time that those eyes had been seen. But it isn't. I saw a strange creature away back north before we reached Lorien.
I could put a name of the creature, thinking of Mr. Bilbo's stories and all. A nasty name. Gollum, maybe.
Yes. That's what I feared for some time.
What is it?
Gollum, or at least, so I guess, Aragorn.
Yes. He padded after us all through Moria, and since we took to boats, he's been lying on a log. I tried to catch him once or twice, but he's slyer than a fox and as slippery as a fish. I hoped the river voyage would beat him, but he's too clever a waterman. I wish I could lay my hands on the wretch. He's very dangerous to us. You lie down. I'll keep watch.
The 8th day of their journey came. They slept a night on the lower bank, then took to the water again. The fogs and mists were gone. Before the travelers lay a wide ravine. Sheer rose the dreadful cliffs to unguessed heights on either side. Far off was the dim sky. Upon great pedestals founded in the deep waters stood 2 great kings of stone. Still with blurred eyes and crannied brows they frowned upon the north. The left hand of each was raised palm outwards in gesture of warning. In each right hand there was an axe. Upon each head there was a crumbling helm and crown. Great power and majesty they still wore, the silent wardens of a long-vanished kingdom. Awe and fear fell upon Frodo, and he cowered down, shutting his eyes and not daring to look up as the boat drew near. Even Boromir bowed his head as the boats whirled by, frail and fleeting as little leaves under the enduring shadow of the sentinels of Númenor.
Fear not. Long have I desired to look upon the likeness of my sires of old. Under their shadow the Elfstone son of Arathorn, heir of Elendil, has naught to dread. Would that Gandalf were here. How my heart yearns for the walls of my own city.
Already night was laid on the flowing waters when the travelers came at last under the shadow of the hills. The 10th day of their journey was over. Wilder land was behind them. They could go no further without a choice. The last stage of the quest was before them. They drew up their boats on the green banks, and beside them they made their camp. Yet Aragorn grew uneasy.
The day has come at last, which we have long delayed. What shall now become of the company that has traveled so far in fellowship? Shall we turn west with Boromir and go to the wars of Gondor, or turn east to the fear and shadow? Whatever we do must be done soon. I fear orcs may already be on this side of the river. Frodo, I fear the burden is laid upon you. You are the bearer. Such is your fate.
I cannot choose. The burden is heavy. Give me an hour longer and I will speak. Let me be alone.
Presently Frodo got up and walked away into the wood. He found his feet leading him up towards the slopes of the hill until he reached a little upland lawn overlooking the river far below him. He sat down upon a wide, flat stone. Time went on, and still he was no nearer to a choice. Suddenly he awoke. A strange feeling came to him that something was behind him. He sprang and turned.
Who? Boromir!
Oh, I was afraid for you, Frodo. And my heart, too, is heavy. May I stay now and talk for a while?
Certainly.
It would comfort me. Two together may perhaps find wisdom.
You're kind, but I know what I should do. But I'm afraid of doing it, Boromir. I'm afraid.
You need counsel in your hard choice. Won't you take mine?
I think I know already what counsel you would give, Boromir. And it would seem like wisdom, but for the warning of my heart.
Warning? Warning against what?
Against delay. Against refusal of the burden that is laid on me. Against... well, if it must be said, against trust in the strength and truth of men.
Yet that strength has long protected you far away in your little country, though you knew it not.
I don't doubt the valor of your people, but the world is changing. If the walls of Minas Tirith fall, what then?
We shall fall in battle valiantly, yet there is still hope that they will not fall.
No hope while the ring lasts.
Ah, the ring. Ah, isn't it a strange fate that we should suffer so much fear and doubt for so small a thing? And I have seen it only for an instant in the House of Elrond. Couldn't I have a sight of it again, eh? Eh?
It's best that it should lie hidden.
As you wish, I care not. Yet may I not even speak of it? The world is changing, you say. Minas Tirith will fall if the ring lasts. But why? Certainly if the ring were with the enemy. But why if it were with us?
Weren't you at the council? What is done with it turns to evil.
Oh, so you go on. Gandalf, Elrond, all those people have taught you to say so. It's mad not to use it, to use the power of the enemy against him. The fearless, the ruthless, these alone will achieve victory. What couldn't Aragorn do? Or if he refuses, why not a Boromir? The ring would give me power of command. Won't you at least let me make trial of the plan? Lend me the ring.
No, the council laid it upon me to bear it.
It's by our own folly that the enemy will defeat us. How it angers me! Fool! Obstinate fool! Running willfully to death and ruining our cause. If any mortals have claim to the ring, it's men of Numenor, not halflings. It might have been mine, save by unhappy chance. It should be mine. Give it to me.
No.
Come, my friend. Why not get rid of it? Why not be free of your doubt and fear? You can lay the blame on me if you will. You can say I was too strong and took it by force. For I am too strong for you, halfling.
Frodo dodged aside as Boromir, his pleasant face hideously changed, leaped at him. There was only one thing he could do. Trembling, he pulled out the ring upon its chain and quickly slipped it on his finger. The man gasped, stared for a moment amazed, and then ran wildly about.
Miserable trickster! Miserable trickster! Let me get my hands on you! Now I see your mind. You will take the ring to Sauron and sell us all! Curse you and all halflings to death and darkness!
Catching his foot on a stone, he fell sprawling and lay upon his face. For a while he was as still as if his own curse had struck him down. Then suddenly, he wept.
Oh, what have I said? What have I done? Frodo, come back! Madness took me, but it has passed, Come back, Frodo, come back! Frodo!
Frodo was already far away. Terror and grief shook him, seeing in his thought the mad, fierce face of Boromir and his burning eyes. The others remained long by the river's side, waiting his return.
If he goes east, then all need not go with him. I would appoint 3 companions. Sam, Gimli, and myself.
That won't do at all. He ought to know that if we can't stop him, we shan't leave him.
Here's Boromir. Where have you been, Boromir? Have you seen Frodo?
Yes. And no, I found him. I urged him to come to Minas Tirith. I grew angry and he left me. He vanished. I have never seen such a thing before. He must have put on the ring.
Is that all you have to say?
Yes. I will say no more yet.
Oh, this is bad. I don't know what this man has been up to. Why should Mr. Frodo put the thing on? He didn't ought to have, and if he has, goodness knows what may have happened.
Well, how long is it since you saw Frodo last, Boromir?
Maybe an hour. I don't know.
An hour since he vanished. We must try and find him at once.
Wait a moment. We must divide up and arrange. Wait!
But it was no good. A sudden panic or madness seemed to have fallen on the company. Sam couldn't keep up with the others and stopped, clapping his hand to his head.
Whoa, Sam Gamgee. Think if you can. He can't fly, and he's got no gear. So he's got to get back to the boats. That's it! Back to the boats, Sam, like lightning.
Sam turned and bolted down the path. He fell and cut his knees. Up he got and ran on. At the bank, he stood gazing for a moment. A boat was sliding down the bank all by itself. Then it floated out into midstream.
Hey! Coming, Mr. Frodo! Coming! Wait!
So Frodo and Sam set off on the last stage of the quest together. Frodo paddled away from the shore, and the river bore them swiftly away past the frowning cliffs. At length they came to land and drew the boat out and hid it behind a great boulder. Then, shouldering their burdens, they set off, seeking a path that would bring them over the gray hills and down into the land of the shadow.
You've been listening to The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, adapted for radio by Bernard Mays, and featuring Tom Luce as Aragorn, James Arrington as Frodo, Lou Bliss as Sam, Pat Franklin as Merry, Mac McCadden as Pippin, Bernard Mays as Gandalf, Ray Reinhardt as Bilbo, Carl Haig as Elrond, Eric Bowersfeld as Boromir, John Vickery as Legolas, and Gail Chugg as Gimli and the narrator.